All right, we're live. It's April 16th, 2020. And tonight, for my live coding session, I'm going to be diving into CommandBox task runners. I'm loosely familiar with them, but I haven't done too deep of a dive. So my plan for tonight is just to run through the docs. I'll start at the beginning, work through the pages, and just kind of trial and error, uh, see what they can do and see what I can learn um, along the way. The first thing I'm seeing here is they've got a nice little script to create the task. So I'm gonna hop into, actually pull over iTerm, hop into iTerm here. Okay, and we've got our little script to create the task. And I'm assuming this will open it in, actually, no, I don't want to do this. I want to make a directory for it first. We'll call it task test. Hop in, and now we'll create that task, and it's going to open up. Nice. In VS Code. Perfect. Okay, let's zoom in a little here so we can see what's going on. And we should just be able to do task run within that directory. And it ran. Awesome. So one of the things that's very cool about these compared with CommandBox custom commands, which I've been working on a lot, I'm assuming, is that they're just run on demand here. So I don't need to reload the shell in order to see the changes that are implemented while I'm working on it. At least that's what I assume is the case. So if I run it again here, I get my 3 complete. And that's awesome, because when you're working on developing a CommandBox custom command, you need to link the module and then reload the shell every time for your changes to be picked up. So actually, a decent approach might be, if you're trying to work some stuff out, to actually use a task to work out some of your command line logic and then implement that in a custom command. Just thinking out loud here, but that's super fast and easy to get up and running, which is, really helpful. Now, I know the basics of the task. It's the CFC. Run is the assumed method, but you can do other methods in it. That's stuff that I'm familiar with. So if I did a different CFC, it would be that. So if I add another method here, I think I just call it by the name of the method. So if I have a method here and I call it explode, because I don't know, why not? And we have it print. There's, I want to look at the printing DSL here. I know this is a thing because I've seen it before. Maybe it's under the print helper. Print helper. Print helper. Fancy colors. There we go. I knew that this crazy example was here, so it makes sense for explode. Print bold, blinking, underscored, blue text on red background, and we'll just print yikes, because the real question here is, spell explode? It is not. Wow. So if I do task explode here, no, I'd have to do task run. Task run. Then do I have to give it the name? Okay, so first thing here, let's go back to the docs and actually read them. Task run looks for task.cfc in the current directory and does the run method. It's just a CFC. You can give it any name. So the path is the next, and then the command. So if I had the name task, it would be task run task explode. Yikes. Let's just do that one more time. So if I want to run a custom method, I need both the name of the CFC the task is in and also the name of the method that I want run. So if I just did task run task, I think it's gonna assume that run. So it's gonna assume that run is the method unless I provide a method to override that. All right, that's super helpful. Not super helpful, but interesting. All right, wirebox. Just look over here. Just want to confirm. All right, cool. Nice. So wirebox, all CFCs are created and wired via wirebox. I have wine too. Cheers. Quarantine cheers. So I can add stuff in there. All right, I don't know. So like I said, working through the docs, so I'm just going to grab what they have here and then mess around with it and see what we can get out of it. I'll do the demo here first. I can't tell you how nice it is to not have to reload the shell after every single after using it every single time. It's way easier than building a custom command if you need to do something quickly. So, the artifact, okay, that's all the artifacts that I have. So I wonder, where can I see what other services that I can get through Wirebox? Loading ad hoc modules, progress bar, watchers, interactive jobs. Let's just search the docs for Wirebox. Because I know that there's a number of different, is that the one that we were just in? Yeah, it says Firebox, so that's not helpful. Wirebox. It just Fire. Sorry, Firebox was a spell check correction. Not a helpful one. All right, so this one, first command. Oh, this is under commands. That's not terribly helpful. Same example shows that that's available. What else do we have in here? The injection DSL. Everything inside CommandBox is built via Wirebox. Core models. Okay, here we go. This is what I'm interested in. Injection DSL. So is that under the task docs too? Task runners. No, it's not. The injection DSL probably tells us what else we can do here. So we've got the formatter util. What of these custom models are these only for? I wonder if these are only for commands. No, this is everything. Number of automatically mapped shell tempter. Let's just. I mean, this is gonna break the shell, but what if I did? Okay. We're expecting this to break. Oh, I have to inject that first. I'm going to dump the formatter util. Actually, it would be cool if this could return this as a format equals what? Text, I think, is a thing here. It'd be nice if there was a dump format that was JSON. What if I just return this? See what that didn't work. Task one, write dump. I guess it's nothing to see. Okay. I'm gonna do, okay, so I've never done this before, but I remember seeing this. I think in Ben Dell's blog. I can do cf save content variable. I'm really just guessing here. I do a cf dump var equals formatter util format equals. I mean, this is really just this is just messing around with everything to see what happens. Because we can. Well, at least I broke something. Do I have a floating CF script tag in there somewhere? Ah, oops. Okay. I thought this was how this would work, that you could run tags within script. Let's look at other docs for CF save content. Right? CF save content? I was right about variable. CF save content, variable name. Do I need it to be in like a CF output? Maybe. Maybe formatter util isn't the one that I want to be looking at here. This is really a diversion, so I'm not going to dig too far into it. The formatter might actually not have, it should have something to show us, right? Yes, it does. Okay. So why, oh well, for whatever reason, dumping that, So, okay. Well, first of all, formatter util, absolutely available. We want to see what that has, and probably the right way to do that would be to look at the CommandBox docs, maybe the API docs. Where are their API docs? CommandBox API docs. CommandBox, there's a, and I should know what this is. It's like docs.ortusbooks.com. Where? No, this is just the book. Docs.ortussolutions.com. I remembered correctly. And I promise not to sing anymore. Although we don't have CommandBox here, so that's not terribly useful. I thought CommandBox. All right. just look at the formatter utils only shown here in the core modules, but there's got to be a way where I can see what the methods for that are. I mean, obviously I could go into API docs.order solution. API docs, oh, it's cold box docs. It's not documentation, command box. Well, that's just takes me here. That's not what I wanted. Here, oh, this is just, okay. This is for the other products, but not for CommandBox. So much documentation. I guess it's good, but it's tracking down what I'm looking for, is a bit of work. All right. So GitHub it is. /ordis solutions? No. Let's go to GitHub. There we go. Search the repository for the formatter util. I imagine, where are you coming from, formatter util? Everything here is injecting it. Oh, well, okay, duh, because it's probably in the models folder. Source, CFML, no. System models. Or services? Okay. It's not in there. Util, probably. Formatter. So I imagine almost anything in that list is available here. So the methods in here we could use. Oh, that's kind of cool. Slugify. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I could probably use, oh, that's so nice. I wonder if there are probably better ways to access this. I'm frustrated because I know that there's a way for me to navigate these docs. What the heck? Okay. Well, so first of all, we're just going to show that we've got Slugify. So we will just use the formatter util. Slugify is so nice. I was looking for this when I was building that custom command, Slugify. So, well, let's just jump to see how we pass params into this task, because that's almost like the next thing that we're doing anyways. You can do positional. So you need to include the task and the target, or you can do named. Maybe I get used to it once I started using it, but that is I find that formatting difficult to use with. So task run, I need to use the task, pass in the task and target, and then the next things that are passed in are positional arguments. And then what I have to reference them. Okay, so we'll just call this string, and we'll call it words, because we're just going to slugify those words. Ooh, that'd be so nice. Not so nice, it'd be very cool. So if we go in here, clear, I exploded CommandBox. So we'll spin it back up. And here we'll run task run, task, task run, and then this is something that shouldn't, put in some things to make it difficult here, shouldn't colon slash be crazy, not spelled right, couple spaces. All right. Wait a minute. I thought we'd get that returned slugified. Why did we not get that returned slugified? This is what I mean when I say trial and error. This is most of my life. It's mostly errors. And then, all right, so let's just return that first to make sure that the arguments are working right. They didn't. Okay. So let's go back to the docs. Task run. If you want to pass your parameters positionally, you must include the task and target name. Task run. Task CFC. Because it's looking for test. Okay, so task, yeah, run. Task is the name of the CFC, run is the name of the method, and the argument that I'm passing in is the only argument, and it's going to just say test in. So why doesn't that get... Oh, because it does... Derpy, derpy, derp. So what's different... things. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this myself because I'm not taking notes as I go through this. I'm treating this like a custom command, and it's not a custom command. Returning isn't what I want to do here. I need to just print the output. Printing, so I wonder if there's any, I don't think it says anything about that, but printing is what I need to do. The function doesn't get returned. I don't believe. So we can go back to slugify words, but we're not going to return them. We are going to print line ling. It's not what we're going to print. And this is probably why that dump on slugify didn't work as well. Learning from my mistakes as usual. I can go back here and do this one. And look at that. That is awesome. So we have access to that formatter util, which gives us that slugify method, and that slugify method takes this really obnoxious thing with a bunch of special characters, even double and triple spaces, and gives us a nice slugified string. If you are building anything and you need to slugify it, that can be a pain. Capitalization looks like it got taken care of too. So having that util on hand is really handy and nice that you don't need to write it yourself. I'm definitely going to be pulling that formatter util into some of my custom commands that I've written because I have code in there where I'm doing all that work myself and I don't need to. I can just rely on the formatter util. So really jumping backwards. We know that we have access to, what was it, injection DSL. Basically anything that's listed in here we have access to. What do these things have and do? I don't know exactly. You'd have to mess around with it. And I feel like there's a place in the docs. Let me just check this if it's somewhere in the beginning where what kind of the API is made available. About this book. Authors, Brad, overview. built-in help system, REPL, installing. Okay. Where? Just give me. Oh, is this what I was looking for? How did I not? Okay. So, as I said, I just need to make a note, mental note, of where this is. So, wait, timeout. I thought I went to apidocs.ortussolutions.com. I did, didn't I? I guess I didn't. CommandBox is here. Latest versions are here. I think I'm actually using the 5.2 alpha because I'm crazy. And then what? CommandBox, system, modules, app. Okay, nice. So, oh, these are all the commands that are in there. Let's hop back to where we were because I don't know where that link took me. This is just the index. Well, this is super helpful. So, oh, these are the docs for so utils. This is what I was looking for. Okay. Oh, those are the command utils that we can use. I wonder, is the formatter in here? Is this search? All right, so that's not showing. So there's some stuff in here that we have access to, but it's not showing me that. Utils that it shows in here are general utils that CommandBox has. This is the thing that I had remembered in my mind. So I wonder how we know, or maybe we're not supposed to be digging into those underlying CommandBox functions. Oh, yeah, we have the artifact service, artifacts clean help list. Those methods that we get via wirebot. Okay, so these are all the commands. All right, let's just hop back. So that's the index of CommandBox 5.0.1. Am I zoomed in enough? You know what? I don't think I'm. Sorry about that. Not quite as zoom. CommandBox core. Let's just see if there's anything different here. Bootstrap highlighter, CommandBox. So the CommandBox core. Okay. There we go. Nice. All right. So there's a couple places that we need to look. I mean, honestly, I feel like I'm probably one of 3 people who are digging into this. But this info is here. The CommandBox core gives us the API docs to see what methods are available within those services that we can inject with Wirebox. So we have our formatter util here, and within the formatter util, we've got Ansify HTML, format JSON, that slugify method that we used, unescape HTML, and a couple other things. So format JSON, that's just so cool. Like the fact that we have access to these is really neat. Within our own methods, if we were writing commands, or in this case, tasks, so what was that one called? Format JSON? Format JSON. Format JSON. If we passed in, and I'm not going to pass, I'm just going to do something really basic here, but if some JSON was generated, actually, what, let's do a task run. I'll do the JSON in here itself. Whether JSON was passed in or it was generated. So if we had something like result equals, I wonder if it'll handle a struct or if it has to handle a string. Well, we'll just break it and find out. This is what you're not supposed to do in examples. First name, Bob. That's what my kids always say and laugh about. See if we return. First, let's see if that breaks. Nope. So instead of just getting back, so if we didn't format that, well, A, it probably break, unless print line might delegate to that itself. It does. Okay. So A, stuff is built in that's super powerful, so you might not need to dig into the underpinnings yourself. What if this is JSON? Convert to confused, yeah, that's the right one. Interesting. So I guess there's probably more than just formatting JSON that gets that syntax highlighting coming back the other way. Neat though. All right, so Wirebox. If we go back to what we were really digging into here, I just need to make note of where these API docs are. We've got task runners here. Super powerful, super cool. And within them, Wirebox is available. If we search the docs for injection DSL, you'll see that everything that's in CommandBox is available to our task. So all of these things, the module service, the config service, anything that's custom, config settings for CommandBox, those are available. There's more than just these. These are examples. So we could hop over to the API docs here, or the core API docs, see what's available, and those are also available in our tasks. So what I found convenient and helpful and interesting about that was, just off the bat, the formatter util gives us that slugify method, which can be really handy if you're doing tasks that are, I'm just thinking in terms of custom commands because I've been working with them, to be able to clean up that text for you. That's really useful. So Wirebox is available, it can get you lots of stuff, and you can use some core CommandBox stuff there in the tasks. And I'm going to say this for the 5th time, but not needing to reload the shell as I'm working on this file is really, really nice. Okay, back to the docs. We got hung up on that for a while. We're zoomed in here. That's good. Commands, blah, 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 blah. Wow. Okay. Passing parameters, we briefly took a look at. We can define as many tasks as we want, as many parameters as we want. It's just as if we were writing a regular function. We can do them positionally, but if we do, we need to include the name of the task and the name of the target. So in our case, for the example, it was task run, and then the parameters, but we can also pass them in a named method. And if can we mix them? We probably, oh no, we can mix them. Or maybe we can't. Obviously, we need to find out if we can. I don't think we can mix them. Run, okay. So string name, string first, string last. Red, Boolean, red, equals false. And we'll say if red, else, print dot red line, else, print dot bold blue line, first name and or plus, right? I don't remember. Last. I don't think it's plus. I'm talking to myself here. First. All right. First, let's just make sure that I didn't completely break that. So we will just, oh, those don't have default, so that's definitely going to break if I honored last equals guest. Okay. So in here, if we do task run, we got on. Okay, so hey, I didn't break it. And if we do task run, because we're going to do params now, and we need to include those. And we say we'll do the first one, gross, and for the next one we'll say last. Is last equals? Yeah, colon that. Colon last equals person. Okay, yep. Can't mix them. So I could either do gross person true, and that does that, or I could say task run. Oh, I don't think I can do that. I think if I'm naming them, I have to name, not where I meant to go, to the docs. I think I have to name everything. Okay, so in here, oops, not in here. If I'm passing in named parameters, it's just difficult here. I mean, it's like it's not, doesn't feel elegant to write. Task file equals task.cfc, target equals run, and then no auto prompt for that. We'll say first, oh no, colon first equals nice, colon last equals person, and I don't need false. Nice person. All right, so you can do named or positional. You can't do both. If you're doing named, you also have to do task file equals and target equals, so it ends up being fairly long. But I mean, if you need that flexibility, you've got that flexibility. And as they say here in the docs, not there, you can do expressions or system settings. So that's pretty cool. The expressions in particular, let's take a look at this. I think this backtick And I'm going to forget this right after this, so that's going to really bother me. Let's just type in expressions here. Expressions. What do we mean by expressions? Take, for instance, this simple command that prints the contents of a file. It can be used as a dynamic parameter like so. In the example above, the contents of default server will be passed. Okay, so backticks will be evaluated as a command box expression. So it means the enclosed text will be evaluated first and passed as if it were a separate command. That's really cool as well. So, I mean, I'm not too creative here, so let's clear this out. And I forget how to run cold fusion functions in here. What could I have this do? I mean, the only thing I can think of is echo, and that's not particularly interesting. Well, just to show that we can do something. I mean, the easiest thing is cold fusion functions. What if we did now? That did not get evaluated. I forget. Oh, because I didn't do a backtick at the start of it. Backticks, single quotes. All right. If we did date format now, valid syntax. All right, let's try that. I mean, what's kind of nuts here, if this works, is that we're running cold fusion code directly in the CLI. Wait, invalid syntax, closing and parentheses not found. Ah, because I didn't close the date format. No, I did. It's right there. Now, short. Let me look here. I have to remember how I can run any valid command that can be used as an expression, including calls to noted binary CFML. I forget how to do the CFML functions in the command line. And that's in here somewhere. Execution, CFML functions. I thought it was you just start with it. Oh, if you prep it with CFML, or if you just do, oh, you don't do the, okay. Oh, so it ends up being a little weird. All right. You don't do the parentheses. Oh, so maybe I can just do the now. Prepped with the pound sign. That's all I was trying to do. So, pound sign now. Oh, nice. Okay. I mean, you might not find this terribly interesting, but these, okay, so these backticks, when you wrap code in them, CommandBox evaluates that before it passes it in. So what I'm doing here is I'm running the CFML now method, and then having that evaluated generates the date, and that's getting returned, and then that's getting passed as a parameter into the function that I'm running here. And I could run a date format with now, but you know what? It's just not what I'm trying to figure out here. Bottom line is that these parameters that I'm passing to the task can be dynamic, which is what the docs say. Very cool. All right, back to the task runner docs. Using parameters, we ran through that. Very cool. Oh, No, we didn't. We walked through passing parameters, not using parameters. Positional, named, flags, yeah, it's all good. Using parameters. You have access to them the standard way. If you've seen my videos on custom commands, this is the same way that that works. So if basically the file system util is made available. So if we have something here for a function and it's named directory or a handful of other common file path names, I guess we're not gonna see if that works. String directory, we're gonna return resolve path, right? Resolve path. This is going to make the path canonical and absolute. Let's just see what that does. So if we did task run, task file equals task, target equals run. Okay, so what I could do, what I could probably do here, that's kind of cool. Can I do that? No, I have to name it. So I have to say directory equals. Am I returning that or printing it? Haven't gotten used to this yet. Oh, very cool. Okay, so I could also do task run and then just do it this way. This is what I meant to do. Print working directory. Oh, once I'm doing print, right, task run. I really do wonder if there's I'm sure Brad's thought of this, but a more elegant way, if you are using task and run, probably not, to not have to enter it twice for that. But print working directory here is being evaluated and then passed in. I guess if I did slash, I wonder, I just did slash there, what it would do. It's going to be evaluated as that slash task test. I did it without the slash. There we go. Okay. So one of the things that's nice when you're doing custom commands is that you get autocomplete on functions like this. So it'll traverse the file system and give you the names of files or directories that can be passed as arguments. You don't get that with tasks. You know, they serve different purposes, which is one of the things that I'm figuring out here. But regardless of that, resolve path will make whatever you pass in here canonical and absolute. And using something like print working directory is well, you wouldn't need to resolve the path as much there, but that is a quick way to get the absolute path to what you're passing in from the outside. Okay, so the only note here about using parameters is about using the file system and that you have access to resolve path, which is super helpful. Task output. Tasks aren't required to output anything. Print is great. The print helper gives you lots of stuff. Okay, so we went through this. We saw that there's tremendous control over the color and formatting of the output. And that's really cool. I don't know what concealed does, so now I have to look. What does concealed do? Actually, we don't need anything here. It's not passing parameters if we don't have to. Print concealed. Print concealed line. Hi. Let's find out what it does. I don't need a task run. Any of the following words appear in the method, their decoration will be added. Note, not all of these work on all ANSI consoles. So we know we can do, let's see if we can do underscored. Underscored gives us underscored. Blinking, reversed. So I don't know what, doesn't matter. Tried it. Indented. Indented isn't part of the ANSI standard, but rather a nice way to indent each line of the output. Let's just take a look at what indented does before we move on. I'm assuming this will just be in like 2 spaces. Cool. Indeed. All right. We can print it up. Super powerful. Formatting can be dynamic print text. Oh, is that a second parameter? Oh, that's interesting. You can pass a second string into the print helper with additional formatting that will be appended to the method name. Oh, cool. This is something I did not know. Okay. That can be really helpful, or just convenient to know. Little handy thing. This I've run into before with commands. It's nice. Sometimes you need to flush the console because the command will end quickly and it won't actually get to the output before it ends. Chaining is pretty cool, and stripping ANSI formatting is also really nice. Okay, task output, check. Task interactivity. I'm not going to go through these because I'm assuming the interactivity that you get with tasks, this is exactly the same as the interactivity that you get with custom commands. And I just did a whole, if you're interested, I did a bunch of videos on the interactivity features of custom commands, and they're the same. You can, I mean, they're awesome, but you can ask, you can wait for a key, you can confirm and provide some pretty impressive multi-select inputs, and you should use them judiciously. I think in particular for tasks, they're less relevant than for custom commands, but they're there for tasks. Very cool. Shell integration. So I guess these are things that you can do within your tasks and commands. This method will return the current working directory that a user has changed to via the cd command. The path will be expanded and fully qualified. So if we, let's just run it and return it. Print magenta line, get current working directory. So this is the directory that I'm in. Not the directory the command is in necessarily. if I'm calling a command from a different directory. So I'm guessing if I get out of this directory and then I do task run, and then I say target, oh no, task file equals that. I'm guessing that I'm going to get the demos directory here, and then target equals run. So the task itself is in task test, but the user is running it from /demos. So might be helpful while you're working with that. And just because I'm curious myself, never done that before. That's kind of neat. Shell.clear screen. Oops. I do task run there. Ooh, that's cool. Do that again. Well, now I have stuff on the screen. Nice way to keep the output clean if you don't need people to see what you're outputting. Outputting ASCII art takes you to image to ASCII. Interesting. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole because we've almost been going for an hour here. We'll just do get term width just to see that. Print shell.get term width 119. Interesting. 119 what? Number of characters. Oh, I'm thinking pixels, and I'm like 119. That's preposterous. Okay, in characters. Very neat. All right, and then let's just, we're coming up on an hour here, so I don't want to go, even though there's a lot more to do here. Whoa, like so much more. I think I'm going to stick with download files as the last thing that I look at. When you need to download files from HTTPS and a task runner, you want to use the progressible download helper. To use it, you have to inject it. So let's do that. It's pretty too. Do I have a line here? Oops. Not what I meant to do. That's kind of gross. Oof. All right, let's just go back to how we had it before. All right. When you're ready to use it, just going to copy their docs. And then mess around with them. So in run here, we are going to be grabbing, oh wow, that's cool, a file. We pass in the file, we pass in where we want it to go. So in here, we could probably do shell.get current working directory. And what file should we download? We can probably download anything. Let's go to like Unsplash and just get a picture that's not like miniature. Wallpapers. Can I filter these at all? Man, some pictures are really cool. Copy image address. I don't know if I can do this directly. Let's just do this and see what happens. Might work. let's see what happens when we run that. Task run. Broken. What did I break? Shell dot get current working. Isn't that what we just learned? Shell integration. No, just get current working directory, not shell dot. Oops. Okay, so let's hop back to the box, run it again. And we broke it because why? Oh, I need to give it a name. Okay. All right. So in here, get current working directory, and what am I downloading? I don't know. I don't know what the format of the image is. So I'm just going to guess and say test.jpg. It's the worst that happens. It doesn't work. Wow. Well, so first of all, the real point of this was that we saw that progress bar, and that's very cool. Now let's just ls in the directory, and we have that test.jpg. I wonder what that will do. Oh, very cool. Sorry, it didn't do it. That's awesome. Whoa. So I think that's a that's a pretty cool point to end on. We'll just take a look at that one time before we wrap this up. So we injected the progressible downloader, passed in a destination, in this case an Unsplash image, and then gave it a destination using the current working directory and a file name. By structuring it like this, we got that very cool download bar that handled the downloading, and this handled downloading the file from this location to the local directory for us and giving us feedback along the way. So downloading files using this, very cool, and very easy to implement, or straightforward to implement. Looks like there's some more that we can configure for it, but that's really powerful and very cool. So if you need to download files in a task, that would be the way to do it. Since we've been going for an hour, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Even though there's more that I want to go through with these docs, I might pick it up again next week or on my own in between. Hopefully, you learned something along the way. I certainly did. And working with these task runners is definitely a lot of fun. Thanks. Have a great night.